Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome to Mimic Loaf. Tonight we are going to be playing our Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign. Session number 11. Before we get into it, a couple things to note. Obviously, thank you to our two sponsors. First of all, Stabby Joe & Co. creators of some really cool designs. There's some like shirts, there's some books, there's a whole bunch of like... Just go check them out. Just go check them out. Full stop. Go check them out. If you head to the Stabby Joe & Co. website, which is in our bio, pretty much everywhere, use code MimicLoaf to get 5% off your order. Yeah. Go there. Do that. Please. Do that. Next, our other sponsor is W.GG, creators of some jitterless energy blends. If you head to those guys and and use code Mimic5 at checkout, you get 5% off. Before getting into the recap, thank you so much, Stabby Joe & Co. for that resub. Very much appreciate it. I have noticed you again. Cool. I guess we will get into the quick recap. So you guys started last session at Bryn Shander, having been pushed out of the courthouse. It took you probably about a couple of hours to decide and find a place to bury your old friend Bartleby the Forgettable. You guys took him out of town, lit a bit of a Viking wood pile, and lit it on fire, turning him to ash. After that, you guys then headed back into town, you guys were stopped by a clockwork bird, I believe, which then asked you to come to the House of the Morning Lord, and speak to Copper Nobanoka, what a name, about a job that he may have for you. As you guys headed back into town, you guys went to the house, found the House of the Morning Lord, spoke to Copper and asked you to head to what is known as the Black Cabin to look for one of his friends who has been doing research there. You guys decided to take the day to take some time. Before I continue, thank you so much, Acer ZX. Very much appreciate it. Thank you for the sub. Lost my train of thought. Completely gone. Yeah, you guys ended up heading towards the Black Cabin, going through Tourmaline, where you guys, I believe, spent the night. You guys met a few NPCs. You guys went to the Blue Clam, as well as the East Side. I believe you guys went to the East Side, yeah?
Yeah, we went to the...
Yeah, you stayed at the East
Clam.
Side. You went to the Blue Clam. Yeah, cool.
We went to the... Yeah.
Yeah. You guys then headed straight to the Black Cabin. After a little bit of investigating around, you guys found a small object on the floor, surrounded by what looked to be like a charred corpse. Not even thinking, Thalion picked up the object. It started to whir and glow. Barrius, also standing right next to Thalion, was intrigued, I'm assuming, by this object.
I didn't really have a chance.
Yeah, very true. When the object itself exploded into large amounts of sunlight, instantly killing both the party members and evaporating their corpses into dust. As you guys kind of blinked from the impact and then opened your eyes, you guys saw a large floating head floating spectral head with fire burning in its eyes. You then found this to be Macretus. Is there anything I need to add before we get into it?
I think you covered everything.
Cool. So we will get into it then. So as you guys kind of like blink and come to your senses, you notice like everything seems to have like this darker blue kind of pale look to it. You can see like these ghostly shapes as if almost everything's made of smoke. You see your two friends in the room currently like absolutely flabbergasted at the fact that you guys just disappeared. You see that big burning head of Macretus. What we might do is we might go to Stanley and Tricking. What do you guys do as you see your friends completely explode into nothing?
I'll turn to Tricking and say, I'm guessing that's not normal for the party. This doesn't happen regularly.
No. Last time someone appeared or disappeared randomly, it was you.
Yeah, okay, right. Well, I can't collect their souls, so they're not dead, so to speak, but I don't know what's going on.
I'm just gonna ask you to go over that again. Collect their souls.
Yeah, it's my job, remember? So that's why I teleported into the prison cell and I took the old guy's soul and I give him to the Grim Reaper. I tried to do that with these two. I figured when in Rome, right? 2 of them died, 2 souls, good deal. But I can't, so something else is going on here.
2 for 1 Tuesdays, can't blame. Can you like portal them back in here like you portaled in?
Well, no, I can only do the soul collecting. And there's no souls to collect, which means they're somewhere else. But also,
Okay.
And I'll point down at the 2 piles of ash on the floor and be like, there's not really anywhere for their souls to go. Whoops.
With that orb on the ground, is there anything like a bucket or a blanket I could throw over it?
Nothing in the surrounding area.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna sort of like look at it and turn back to Stanley and say, I think when they touch that, they turn to ash. We should definitely leave that alone.
Yeah, I am in agreement with that. Let me try and reach out to the big guy, see if he has any ideas as to what's going on. Bear with me, and I'll put the book that I normally am carrying into my like in a pocket in my armor, and reach over the other side and pull out a different book. And I'll like kind of turn away and start writing in the book.
Yes, Tricky?
While he does that, I'd like to investigate one of the other doors, just like see if they open.
Cool. So as Stanley starts beginning to write in the book, Tricking, you move over to which door?
I'll go to the far left one.
Far left one? Yeah, cool. So you move over to the far left door, and you click it open. It is open now. What you see inside is, the center of wine kind of fills this room, which contains 4 frost-covered barrels.
Okay. Can I investigate the barrels to check to see if they are full?
Yeah, give us an investigation check. Stanley, what are you writing in your book?
I am writing to see. Do you want me to like speak it out or just vaguely?
Speak it out.
Trying to...
Yeah.
Okay.
So
hey, Grim.
you open your book and it's just like you see this operator, please hold.
Yeah. Hey, Grim. It's Stanley. You're your number 1 employee. Got a bit of a situation here. I was wondering if it's you could retrieve some souls. I've tried the normal means and they're not reachable. Also, might be a bit tough to get them back because there's no bodies, but I could maybe help out there if you could let me know. That'd be great.
What you get back is like It's almost like a copy paste answer that like a PR answer, so to speak, from Grimm's assistant, like his personal assistant, pretty much stating that if there is no soul to be collected, the ledger would not allow you to collect said soul. If death has occurred and there is no soul to be collected, then either entity A did not have a soul, or entity A's soul is being held by another force.
Okay.
But it's like very like legal jargoned up.
Yeah. Tempted to try and play on his ego a little bit to see if I can get a bite, but I don't think I will.
Okay. As you guys are like moving around this space and looking around, Thalion and Barrius, seeing this large spectral floating head and now seeing everything in shades of dark blue and wispy smoke, what do you guys want to do?
I am going to start to try and get Tricking's attention.
What exactly are you going to try and do?
One way, shape, or form. What was my what am I able to do?
You can. Let me read the thing. You can. You can move. You've got a flying speed of 30 feet and can hover. You can pass through solid surfaces and are visible on. And yeah, you can move through solid surfaces that are visible on the material plane. You can't move 30 feet away from the cabin. You can make ability checks based on dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma only. You can exert 5 pounds of force on a creature or object no more than 5 feet away from you with a successful charisma check. Yeah. So as you kind of move towards
what I'm gonna do is can I exert 5 pounds of force onto the door by hitting it?
Yep.
Like this door right here.
That door there. So what you guys hear is this almost like this knock of somebody banging on this door, and you see this door just swing open. Yes, Stanley?
I'm going to take out my ledger and write a ledger for each of them, just so that their souls, if untethered to wherever they are, can't be taken by anyone else.
Okay.
So that they would then be returned to me. And the other thing, I'm going to write again in my note to Grim and say, hey, Grim, me again. I have an interesting idea for a business proposition or expanding on current practices. If you're interested, please let me know. Thanks.
You get kind of like a message back that says
kind of like in the moment, so need to know now.
Yeah, so you get something back from his assistant that pretty much states like he's happy to take any kind of business ideas and any requests on file. If you'd like to jot them down in your ledger, he'll get back to you at his earliest convenience.
Yeah, sure. I'll write out, for the sake of brevity, I'll write out exactly what I had explained to you via message.
Yep.
As to what I was trying to do.
Yep.
And see if he bites on that.
Okay. No response so far, like no immediate response, other than a response that says, thank you for your feedback. We've raised a ticket for you. Here is your ticket ID. And then it gives you like a random mishmash of numbers and letters.
I'll just mutter under my breath, be like, oh, man, I never liked that secretary. And then I'll shut my book and put it away.
Cool.
And then just look up at the door opening itself and be like, man, this building sucks. Breezy
Barrios,
is fucking
what are you
creaky.
doing as Thalion opens that door? You muted.
Sorry. I want to talk to Macretus about like what the item was, how he ended up here, all that sort of stuff.
Okay, cool. So we'll go to what Thalion sees, and then we'll go to that conversation. So Thalion, as you move into that room, you see a room that contains a fireplace and 2 empty bookcases. Tacked to the walls and strewn across the floors are frost-covered blueprints. Face down on the floor next to one of the blueprints is a tiny man made of clay. Tricking, what did you get for your investigation?
A 13.
A 13, okay. So you find these barrels to be a supply of sweetberry summer wine. Are you proficient with brewer's supplies?
No.
No, cool. Yeah, so as you kind of explore that space, Macretus looks to you, Barrios, before you're able to speak and goes, "Can you tell him to stop touching my wine? It's my wine."
Well, if you can't tell him, I can't tell him either.
Well, maybe I can tell him.
Okay, then off you go then.
And he just kind of like slowly floats over towards Tricking and just whispers in Tricking's ear, but you don't hear anything. He goes, "Yeah, I told him. And he just kind of like
Good for
floats
you.
back, being that floating head. He kind of looks you up and down and goes, "I told you not to touch the device."
I don't remember. Or I don't
Well, obviously
recall
you weren't listening.
I guess wasn't
I
listening.
guess this is all your fault then.
Well, I wouldn't particularly say my fault specifically. I wasn't the one who picked up the device.
Well, you got close to it, and I said to stand back because it was about to explode, but...
Anyway, what is the device? What is it? Why is it here?
Oh, yeah, it's my finest work. It's, I call it
Yeah,
the
well-
Summer Star.
Right, you've done a real good job. Great, if you want people to die.
Look,
It's a
it
good job.
wasn't my fault. It was the cold. It numbed my fingers when I was making my final calculations.
Sure, okay. Anyway, so you built this thing.
Yes, it is a device that will stop the forever darkness that we are in.
Sure. How come you were up here doing it? Why the black cabin?
Well, it's excluded. It's away from prying eyes.
Right, okay.
You never know
Do you have any
where the Frostmaiden has her slaves, I guess you would say.
The Frostmaiden?
Yes. Have you not heard of the Frostmaiden?
I don't think we have heard of the Frostmaiden. Who is this Frostmaiden?
Oral. The one that's caused this cursed light, this cursed
Have
lack
we?
of light.
This just like out of character. Have we heard of the Frostmaiden?
You would have specifically, being
Right.
that you lived close to the borders of Icewind Dale. Oral was some sort of goddess that seemed to, plunge the whole of Icewind Dale
Right.
into forever night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I know that obviously as a player. I just was double checking that my character would know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So since you made this device, do you have any idea how to get us out of here back to
Well, I don't know how to get us out, but I know how to fix the device. We could fix the device, and then you'd be the hero. You would have sacrificed
Okay.
yourself for For greater good.
What if I don't want to sacrifice myself? What if I want to keep living my life?
Well, I mean, it's kind of too late for that. You are nothing but ash on the floor.
Right. Okay. So there's no way that.
Not that I am aware of, but
Okay. So how do we fix this thing?
well, I mean, there's quite a few steps to it.
Right.
The issue I'm finding is we can't touch anything here.
Can it be fixed? Like, do you have everything you need to fix it within this cabin? If you were able to relay instructions.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. I want to float over to Stanley and kind of like touch him on the shoulder.
Cool. Give me
You're fine, Makritis. I can touch things.
What? How so?
I just knocked on that door and it opened.
Interesting.
What
Give
do you
me
want to
a charisma check.
It does not appear that I can communicate with humans, though. But you have said that you can.
A 3, so no.
3. So you touch him on the shoulder. You said. You touch him on the shoulder and your hand just goes straight through. Stanley, you feel nothing.
God damn it.
All right. Tricking. You said that you covered up the thing with a blanket or like a coat or something, didn't you?
There was nothing around to cover it up with.
Oh, there wasn't anything to cover it up with. Okay.
Yeah. So it's currently sitting idly on the floor.
Okay. Is there? Or, I mean, I guess I just have to try again. Try and interact with Stanley again. I will do that one more time.
Give us a charisma check.
That's a natural 20.
Cool. Stanley, you feel like this hand placed on your shoulder, and it
Can
gives
I just say?
Yeah.
Can I do it in a way to kind of angle him towards the patch of snow over there, kind of push him so he kind of turns a little bit.
Yeah. So you feel this touch on your shoulder, and then it seems to almost give enough force for you to turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hated every second of that, but
I want to
find out what it was.
Try and I want to write as best as I can the shortest message possible in the snow, saying alive. That's basically I want to try and write alive.
Give me another charisma check. While we're doing that, Thalion, what are you doing?
Okay. So, I wasn't here. So being in here, you mentioned I could see blueprints, a clay man doll thingy, and a fireplace.
Yep.
Is there anything in these blueprints that's interesting, useful?
Give me an Arcana check with disadvantage.
I need to sign into D&D Beyond. One moment, please.
Well, while you're doing that, Cat.
I got an 18.
18. Cool.
Yeah.
So you feel this hand on your shoulder that kind of pulls you towards this patch of snow and turns you. You then just see this scratchy handwriting, almost on and off, begin to draw into the into the snow, and eventually it spells out the word alive.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks. And then I'll just kind of think to myself, like, I don't really know what to do about that. And then I'm gonna start looking through the cabin to see if there's like any other mysterious looking objects or explanations as to what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
Specifically in one of the rooms that hasn't been looked at yet.
Cool. So all you've seen is the door open for that center room.
Yeah. I would like to suss this one out.
Okay. So you haven't been into the center room, so you don't know what is in there. Keep that in mind.
I'm here currently though.
No, I mean this one. This back center room is what I meant.
Yeah, I don't want to go that way yet. I want to go over here.
Cool. Easy. You make your way around to...
Yeah, I'm hugging the wall. Fuck
yeah,
that thing.
towards the hallway. Tricking, what were you doing while this was all going on?
I was having a look at the wine.
Yeah.
You told me that I could tell what it was, and then we skipped past.
Yeah, so...
I'm going to see if I can
continue.
pour one out for the homies.
Cool. You easily pour one out for the homies.
I'll have one for me and one for the boys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, is there like other tankards around? Yeah, there seems to be quite a few tankards.
Yeah.
I'll grab one from the new guy,
Stanley.
Stanley.
Cool. And then you head over to where Stanley is?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the tankard.
Cool. So as you approach that door, Stanley, Tricking like walks over to you and hands you a tankard of wine.
Well, I'll just look at him and be like, mystery alcohol. Why the fuck not? No, take a sip.
It's very delicious. It's
Your friends got evaporated.
Yeah, I mean, must be rough for you. I have no fucking idea what's going on, to be honest. This is above my pay grade.
Just gonna say the winged one had some gold of mine that I'm never gonna get back now.
Yeah, I think it's long. I mean, you might be able to scrape some flecks of gold from the ash on the floor, but then I'll head into that room.
Yeah, so you head into the room. Wooden planks have been nailed over the broken window of this room to hold out the wind. Furnishings include a saggy double bed and a bookcase containing some folded clothes. A few blank sheets of parchment and a set of calligrapher's supplies. Next to the bookcase is a soot-stained hearth, wherein a scroll lies amid the ashes.
What's the scroll? Let me have a look at this scroll.
You notice that the scroll is stained with soot, but remains intact. You read a message, which is written in common, that is the following. It says, I'll read it out.
Read it.
Yeah, and then I'll paste the thing into chat.
My dyslexia will not let me read that.
Yes, it will. Give it a go.
No.
It says, Macretus, I've done enough. I've had enough of this damned relentless cold. I feel it creep into my bones, my head, my heart. I'm heading back to 10 Towns for a decent meal and a warm bed. I fear this endless winter has numbed your mind, and any tinkerer worth their chains can see the summer star is a fool's errand. Maybe without me here to incessantly complain to, you'll finally snap out of your obsession. If you truly insist on dedicating your remaining days to this doomed project, might I suggest that 3 is better than 2? I considered telling you before, but you were particularly rude about the dinner I made last night. May the light of the Morning Lord protect you, Copper.
Right. I will relay to Tricking. That thing was an invention of some sort to try and fix the endless winter. Clearly, it didn't work, and whoever this was from also thought it wasn't going to work. So, good news, their souls are still around. Bad news, they're pretty fucked for now.
So if the person who made it didn't think it would work, what hope?
No, I'm pretty sure it also has claimed the person who made it. I think his friend, the friend of the person who made it, was trying to tell him it was a bad idea.
Interesting. What was that person's name?
I would know that.
Macretus.
The thing's gone. Macretus? What was it?
Yeah,
Yep.
Macretus.
Macretus, yeah.
Were you asking who wrote the letter?
Yeah, who wrote the letter?
Oh,
Copper.
Copper Nobanoka
Copper
wrote the
Nova.
letter.
The guy who gave us the job to go
Yeah.
track this dude down.
He didn't mention any strange inventions.
Well, I mean, the mechanical bird was probably a giveaway that there'd be something of the sort.
I've seen mechanical birds before, never orbs that evaporate people.
This place is fucking weird, man. Shall we check out the other rooms then,
Let's
my
check out the other
small
room.
cat friend?
Cool. You guys head to the north room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So while having that conversation and doing that, we'll chop over to the other two. What are you two doing? We'll start off with Thalion.
I was looking to see if there was anything useful amongst these blueprints.
Yes, and I asked for the Arcana check, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
A natural one.
A natural one. You can't seem to make heads or tails of anything in here. It's very hard to read any of these blueprints or anything of detail because it creates like where you are, however you are, creates like this
Someone
smoky
delete the
detail
Twitch comment.
that just kind of like floats throughout the area.
What was a Twitch comment?
It's the fucking spam one.
Bot.
I don't know if I can.
I cannot.
I'm not a mod. Jackson, you? Good.
I don't have the chat open.
Oh, actually, I might be able to from my phone.
Ah, fancy. Am I about to be pushed around some more by a ghost?
Thalion, anything
Um,
else you want to add?
No, not as yet. Nothing to add. Currently.
Cool.
Actually, I'm going to punch the ground.
Cool. Give me a charisma check.
I love that Barry's is trying to send messages and get our attention, and Thalion just punching shit.
17.
17. So, Tricking and Stanley, you both hear this like loud thudding noise coming from one of the center rooms.
You heard that, right?
Yeah, there was one earlier before on one of the doors too, but I thought it was just the lovely ambience of the house. But I guess it might be our friends.
I'm gonna just be confused. Like, how? They're at Piles of Ash. When was the last time Piles of Ash could open a door or knock on the wood?
Yeah, souls can do a lot of weird shit. Trust me. If I have anything to do with it, I'll be doing some more weird shit with them too. But I need the big guy's help for that. Then I'll see what's in this room.
The top room? Cool.
Yeah.
We'll go to Barrios for a little bit. Don't have anything. Cool. Then I guess we'll go to you guys opening that door. So opening that door on the inside, you see a stiff wind. Well, you don't see, but a stiff wind blows through the broken window in the east wall, causing the tattered grey curtains to billow and flap like angry ghosts. Snow covers a bed and much of the surrounding floor.
Can I do a sweep? Look for anything.
So you kind of like do a bit of a sweep through the room. You kind of notice that this room is unfit for habitation, and doesn't seem to have been used for a long time.
Yeah, okay. Well, this one sucks. Let's go on to the next one, and I'll go to the room where the thud came from.
Cool.
So I haven't been in there yet.
Yeah, you guys head into that room with the thud, and see that all of the what do you call it? All of the where is it? That one. Yeah, the room with the fireplaces. You see blueprints strewn across throughout the floor.
Yeah, okay.
And that tiny man of clay.
Take some time reading and looking through to just try and understand what I can.
Okay.
Of the situation.
And Tricking, what are you doing?
I'm gonna open the door that's to the north and to the left.
Okay. Give me. So those are windows to the left and the right, on the back window, on the back wall.
They're not doors?
Nah, they're windows. They just act like doors in Foundry, because you can open and close windows.
I don't have a look out.
Okay, so looking out, you see like kind of the edge of a cliff that kind of descends down what looks to be more than 100 feet. This cabin seems to be rickettily on the edge of a large gorge. Stanley, are you proficient with Arcana?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, after studying the blueprints, you conclude that they show different experimental designs for a weather-controlling magical device. One of these designs resembles a gyroscope, and closely resembles the object found in that previous room that evaporated your friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Whilst still reading through notes and stuff, I'm just going to shout kind of over my shoulder and be like, hey, Tricking, it looks like this guy was trying to make like a miniature sun, effectively. Dude was crazy.
Yes,
that doesn't seem like a good thing.
I'm gonna hit that floor again.
Cool.
Really
give me a charisma check.
21.
Cool. You guys hear the floor being hit quite hard.
Oh, well, maybe knock twice if you're confirming what I just said. I don't know who I'm talking to, but do that.
I'm gonna knock twice.
Charisma check.
8.
You don't hear anything.
Right. Maybe I'm close. Not quite. Is there anything else that I can read through? Go and look at the little clay guy.
Give me an Arcana check to check the clay guy
out. 18.
18. Cool. You ascertain that this is a dead homunculus.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it is somewhat. A homunculus is like a magical assistant.
Yeah.
You assume it's most likely Macretus's.
But it's dead.
It is dead. It most likely died when its master died.
I'll just be looking at it, then once I realize, I'm like, ugh.
Roll it away.
Throws it out the window.
Yeah. I picked it up just thinking it was like a little statue or some shit, but then I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Tricking, I'm out of ideas. And unless I hear back from Grim, I got nothing.
So can I have a look through the papers and see if I figure anything out?
Yeah, sure. Give me
gonna-
Arcana.
I'm gonna head outside, just out the front,
Cool.
just to try and think things through.
Yeah,
So
I don't think that's gonna be help. I rolled a 7.
yeah, you don't find anything else out. Nothing outside of what Stanley had figured out.
I'm gonna go back to the wine barrels then.
Okay. You head back to the wine barrels. Thalion and Barrius, what are you guys doing now that your friends have disappeared out of sight?
I want to find Macretus. Is he still floating around in the middle?
Yeah, he's like you see him floating in that center room, kind of like doesn't know where to go to try and get things to happen.
All right, Macretus, I can't communicate with my friends, but I need you to tell them to try and how would I do? You need to. How do we do this? You need to tell them to fix the device.
Well, of course, I've been trying to tell you a lot to fix the device since you got here. But it doesn't sound like your friends are listening. Nor were you listening. See, if you had have just listened, then we could have avoided this whole situation.
Kind of glad Macretus is dead. He's a dickhead.
Yes.
Well,
Darius? Sorry. I think you're muted.
I'm gonna move outside.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna try and write in the snow. How heavy is it snowing?
It's like a light dusting.
Okay. I'm gonna write in the snow in front of Stanley, or try to, of the words "fix sun," like S-U-N.
S-O-N. Fix my son.
I don't have a son.
Oh, it's so confusing. Give me a charisma check.
15.
15. Stanley, as you kind of like stand out in the cold, feeling that cold air kind of filling your lungs, you kind of take a sigh, a deep breath, and then you look down and see scratchings begin to appear in the snow beneath you, in which, yes, spell out the words "fix sun."
Okay. At least I've got direction now. Small question, ominous riding in the snow. How do I do that exactly?
You want to go first, Thalion?
Thalion?
Can I just, like, considering now I'm incorporeal and I can't actually touch the device, but can I inspect it?
Yeah. You can give me a investigation check.
Bro's about to disintegrate his soul too.
What's the worst that could happen? 14.
Cool. So you kind of like inspect it. It is definitely like you see that device. It's gyroscopic in nature with a large like black, like crystally like obsidian orb in the center. That's very jagged. The rings on the outside are covered in runes.
How many rings are on it?
2 rings. As you're kind of like looking it over, Macretus's head like floats over to you and goes, "Look, you see, not my fault. It was the cold and my fingers weren't doing the calculations correctly. But I believe there should be 3 rings instead of the 2. I don't think 2 was quite powerful enough to keep them to keep them afloat.
What?
To keep the power in together.
How do we add an extra ring?
Well, I think somebody would need to craft a ring. I have, and he kind of, you see the floating head point towards that room that you investigated. He's like, I have blueprints in that room that could aid somebody into fixing the device. But I guess it would depend on the user's ability to craft the ring, I guess. So not on me, it'd be on the person that that crafts the ring, whether or not it works.
Okay. How do they add the ring? Because you can't touch it.
Well, it's probably dormant now. You could probably touch it. I mean, I can't touch it. I don't have hands.
I don't know if you've realized, Macreus, but I also, well, I do have hands, but I can't touch it either.
Well, I mean, neither of us nor your friend outside would be able to touch it. It would have to be touched in the material realm.
Okay. I'm gonna have to get a message to my friends. Okay.
Darius?
I'm gonna. So, Stanley said, "How are we gonna fix it?" And I'm going to, try and write the words "we help" next to where I wrote the other words.
Charisma check?
19.
Yeah, the words scratchedly appear on the snow.
Lead the way, I guess.
It's kind of hard, obviously, because I can't. I can't interact with anything without making a charisma check. But I'm going to head back inside, and hopefully Stanley kind of gets the idea that if we're fixing the sun, it's going to be inside.
The solution's going to be in the building. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you head back into the building?
Yeah, I'll head back into the office because I would figure that where all the blueprints are is going to probably be where I'll find an answer.
Okay. Dalian?
Sorry, just before they had returned in, I was gonna say, can I draw in that snow-covered corner, add one ring?
Sure. Charisma check.
17.
Cool. Give me a perception check, please, Stanley.
Oh, that's not great. 5.
Cool. You write the thing in the snow, but Stanley does not even notice it and continues into the room.
Okay, well, it's there.
Once I get into the room, I'm just gonna say to no one in particular, to the surrounding area, I'm going to write yes on a piece of paper and no on a piece of paper and put them on the floor in the middle of the room.
I was going to try and find a way to suggest this to you.
If whoever is around,
board starts getting hexadecimal codes out, like fucking Martian.
Complex calculations. If whoever can understand me and hear me, just simply shift the paper a little bit. Just move yes.
Okay.
Trying to make it as easy as possible.
Mm.
Okay.
Are you putting the pieces of paper down inside the office?
Yeah, on the floor.
Cool.
My movement does not collide with walls. I'm incorporeal, damn it.
Yeah. If I move you, you're incorporeal. Okay. So you place the bits of paper down on the floor.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to say that the two of you have had enough successful checks between the two of you to be able to exert the 5 pounds of force without having to do a check.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Does someone move the yes page?
What did you say? Sorry.
I said if you can understand me and or
yeah,
hear. move
gonna
here.
just shake it
yeah.
fervently.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Fantastic. Next question. Is it to do with that fucking thing out there?
Shaking the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, babe.
Okay. Someone or something knocked before when I was reading the thing and surmised this was a tiny sun. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It said in the snow that I have to fix. So am I fixing that?
Yes.
Motioning towards the fucking sun.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. How the fuck do I do that?
Yes.
Yeah. That's where he's
I'm
like
gonna
just
shake
kind of
the
runs
yes
out of.
page, and then I'm gonna float out back to where I've written that add one ring in the floor, and I'm gonna hit the floor.
So you watch the yes page float out into the snow, out to near the door, which next to the first note that was written in the floor that said fix device, I think.
Fix sun.
Fix.
Oh,
no, it
alive.
was alive was the
first
one.
one.
So you see the
Yeah,
note that says
and-
alive, and then next to it you see add ring.
Right. So I'm adding a ring to the sun.
Yes.
Okay.
I can flail around.
Got it. Back to the blueprints I go, and then I'm just gonna go and start fucking trying to understand what I'm
Cool.
looking at.
Tricky, what are you doing while all this is happening? You hear all of this noise and like this moving of paper, and Stanley like moving to and fro from rooms, like talking to himself almost.
I've just been drinking the wine out of the barrel.
Okay, give me a Constitution check.
Oh, fuck, here we go. This is gonna be bad, isn't it? Constitution?
Yeah.
That was a 14, and I have a +2, so 16.
Cool. You are definitely feeling the effects of drunkenness, to the point where you're very lightheaded and you're hiccuping a little bit. You have disadvantage on any ability check that you do from now on.
If that's the case, I'm gonna grab 4 tankards. I'm gonna fill them all up, and I'm gonna go find Stanley.
Okay. You find Stanley currently rummaging in that office room, scrapping through papers. In which Stanley, you do see a couple of papers and prototypes and what do you call them? Not prototypes. What is blueprints of what these rings are made of and how to make them.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Seeing Tricking stumble in the door, I'm like, yeah, great, I'm here, and I'll just kind of drag a chair into the corner and sit him down, so he's just out of the way.
I'm gonna try and hand you a tankard and be like, drink it. It's for my friends.
And I'll just put it on the desk and go back to reading. Seeing that it has obviously the list of ingredients, components.
Yep.
Can I see the components that I would need in my immediate vicinity?
So you see, what you would need in order to craft a third ring is a 1/4 pound of metal that must be melted down in a fire and recast using tools. You do see raw metal.
Yeah.
There is the fireplace, which could be a source of fire. You're not sure whether or not it'll get hot enough, but it could be a source of fire. And you do see strewn around on a couple of the tables a set of smithing tools.
Okay. Fuck. I am going to collect the metal into like a fucking... Is there like a crucible or something I can chuck it in?
Yeah. You find a
Yeah,
small little crucible.
I'm going to put the correct amount of metal in the crucible, go to the fireplace. You said there was a fireplace, yeah?
Yep.
Sick. I'm going to go to the fireplace, set it up so it's just off the flames, and I'm going to then go to where all of the alcohol is and see if there's any particularly strong like a whiskey or a rum or like the strongest I can smell.
Yeah.
And take that.
Okay.
And then like flick a bit into the fire just to see if it is what I suspect. And
yeah, cool. So you head to that room and don't find anything but wine. You come back and see sitting on the table on the chair, Tricking, like struggling to open up the cork of what looks to be like clear alcohol, and he's just like struggling to like pop the cork.
Rush over to him and be like, oh yeah, I've got that for you, and I'll pick up the tankard that he'd just given me. Like, here you go, buddy, and I'll take the bottle off him and hand him the tankard of wine.
Smooth.
Hell yeah, let's party.
And continues drinking.
Yeah, and then I'll go back to the fire.
Yeah.
And I wanna just kind of periodically stoke the fire with the spirits that I've got to get the flame as hot as it can and keep it going.
Yeah, easy. It definitely will get there. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll get there. Tricking?
As Stanley walks out, he probably would have heard me mumble something about, all my friends are dead. Now I'm just stuck with this random Stanley dude. No good at adventuring. No. Just like all the way to pity.
I'm gonna pick up one of the empty bottles here and just lob it at him.
You get assaulted by a bottle.
I'm gonna be like, that must be Thalion. It's like, he's still here. He always throwing things at me and picking me up with my collar while I try and rob people. At that point, I might get up and stumble into the main room where Stanley is.
Yeah, cool.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and find. Can I? Is there a thing that I can pour it into in the shape of a ring? I forget.
Yeah,
what
you
that's
do.
called.
You do see a couple of molds.
Like a cast.
That's molds.
Yeah, you do see a couple of molds that would make this ring shape.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna pick one that looks like it would be bigger than the thing that's sitting on the floor.
Yep.
So that it will fit around it.
Cool.
Whilst also trying to ensure that Tricking doesn't fucking touch it or the fire.
Okay. Tricking, do you touch it?
No, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna just be like standing next to the fireplace, like just holding onto the wall for dear life.
Give me a Constitution check.
Here we go. If I fall into the fire, I'm gonna be upset. Ooh, that was a 9.
You begin to vomit your guts up.
Jeez.
Roll me a d20.
Fuck. Here we go. Let's see. Ooh, that was a 3.
Okay. Stanley, as you hear this heaving of Tricking, like vomiting his guts up, his skin gets a little bit of a shimmer to it. And then it stops.
You know what? There's too much going on. I don't want to know. I'm gonna leave that where it is.
You craft this
my
ring.
Melted metal looking. Yeah.
Yep, you craft this ring. It now needs things inscribed into it. Runes inscribed into it.
Yeah, cool. I guess I'll try and figure that out.
Give me a This is interesting. It says a dexterity arcana check.
What the fuck is that? How do I do that?
So I would assume you give me
Roll.
a arcana check. Are you proficient with arcana?
Yeah.
So do me a dexterity check and then add your proficiency bonus to it.
Okay. Oop. So I rolled an 18.
Yeah.
My dexterity is a -1,
Yeah.
but my arcana is +4. So that is a dirty 20.
Cool. You managed to inscribe the runes as best you can to the outside of this ring. It looks passable. For somebody that's never crafted magical items before and that's not very attuned to tinkering, it definitely looks like it would work.
Yeah, cool. I do it. I stand back. I'm like, yeah, okay.
I'm holding up the yes page like this.
yes.
Yes.
Hey, thanks, ghost friend. Tricking, get outside. I'll just go outside for a minute for me.
All right, I'm just gonna like walk over and I'm gonna fall face down in the snow.
You see like little
Fantastic.
stray bits of vomit on his like cat whiskers and his cat fur.
Once he's out of the room, I'm gonna drag like tables and fucking furniture and block off like a corner of the room for me
Yeah.
to hide behind.
A blockade.
Yep. And then I'm gonna like as far away from this thing as I can get. And then I'm gonna have the ring and I'll cast Mage Hand.
Cool.
And I'm gonna float it over and try to attach it.
So
with
you
Mage
float it
Hand, because I
over,
don't want-
and luckily,
don't
due to
want
the
to-
blueprints and everything, the ring clicks to it,
and nothing happens.
and nothing happens.
Gotta like pick it up with the Mage Hand and like.
You pick it up, and it begins to like oddly, slightly like spin, but it doesn't seem to do much. Macretus from the Ethereal will say to Thalion and Barrius, he'll be like, "Look, they can just pick it up. Like, what? I don't understand why they don't just pick it up."
I'm gonna walk over to where the thing is, put the yes page down, and start knocking on the floor.
Look, I appreciate the assistance, Ghost, but I'm not fucking touching that.
I'm gonna knock louder.
One moment. Can I run outside?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna. Is there like any kind of mammal about, like a squirrel or a bird? or...
Give me a perception check.
That's a dirty 20.
There is currently a single like Arctic squirrel sitting on the back of Tricking's head as he lies face down in the snow.
Okay, sick. I'm gonna take out a little bit of a ration and try and coax it over so I can grab it.
Give me an animal handling check.
Hey, natural 20.
It like it's like this beady-eyed Arctic squirrel, like white,
Ice Age squirrel?
fuzzy, yeah, like almost Scrat from Ice Age, kind of like goes and then like begins to scurry over towards where you put the ration.
Red, I'm gonna use a mage hand to grab it.
Cool. It just
Red.
You've got this squirrel.
I'm gonna frantically run back inside, jump behind my barricade, and then just like press the squirrel against this device to see if it just needs like a living thing to touch it.
You press it against the device, and you just see the squirrel like get like pressed up against this bloody this spinning, like slightly spinning device.
Fuck. Okay, I'm sorry, squirrel, and I'll give it a bigger part of my ration and let it go.
Okay. It like eats it and then scurries off.
Alright. Thalion?
Macretus, why is it not working?
Like I said, they just need to pick it up. I'm sure it's not that dangerous. It'll be fine.
How does this device work? Is it magical?
Yes, well, like you see and he goes into like this long-winded, egotistical about him being the best tinkerer, like explanation as to how this thing works. But it all just boils down to it essentially casts the control weather spell.
So someone would need to attune to this device.
Well, yes,
And
of course they would. Yes.
During the whole explanation, I'm charismatically nodding along.
Yeah,
Because-
So essentially, yes, somebody would need to pick it up and attune to the device.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to the corner snow, and I'm just gonna try and write a tune.
Okay, you write it. Give me a perception check, Stanley.
11.
You don't notice it. You
I'm
just
gonna
see
whack the ground.
Stanley. You hear the knock on the floor.
Yeah, Stanley by this point would have figured out that it's not going to do anything unless he touches it, but he really doesn't want to fucking touch it.
Yes, Tricky?
At this point, I'm gonna like push myself up out of the snow and be like, what's all this knocking? And I'm gonna come stumbling back in the cabin.
And then you see the words "attune" in the snow as you like hold on to the doorway, like swaying slightly.
Look, Tricky.
Julian's trying with all his might not to use his 5 pounds of force to push Tricky over.
Tricking, none of this is gonna make sense, especially because you're fucking drunk. Your ghost friends have been communicating with me. I have fixed the device, and now they're trying to convince me to touch the fucking thing. And I don't want to.
At this point, I'm just gonna look at you and say, they want you to touch it?
Yeah, apparently, from what I can figure out of my very, very limited communication with them, the third ring that we have now, well, I have now added, it should have fixed it somehow.
Do you think it'll bring my friends back?
I don't know. I didn't know I could forge until about 20 minutes ago, so...
I'm just gonna stumble over to the thing and pick it up.
Cool.
I'm ducking behind the tables.
You pick it up in your hands. It does not react to your touch. You feel a sense of magical ability from it. Almost as if you got attuned to it very quickly. Do you choose to attune to it?
Can I attune to something while I'm pissed off my feet?
You can.
Yeah,
It might be
let's roll
a
the
bad
dice.
decision, but you can.
Fuck it. So you are now attuned to the summer star. Do you activate it?
Yes, but I'm gonna throw up first.
Cool.
In case this is...
You throw up during as this like summer star begins to glow in this like the same vibrant orange light that it was previous that destroyed your friends. You just kind of shake a couple of seconds and just go all over the top of this magical item. What you guys notice in the ethereal plane is the light begins to become almost blinding. It explodes into this like this divine sense in which you see like almost silhouetted against this bright light, this like humanoid figure standing there. McCreed, you notice the cabin around you guys completely dissolve to this light, and Macretus begins to disappear. As you kind of wince your eyes from the light, you guys notice you are back in the cabin.
Oh my god, we're alive.
It seems like whatever light was that being, that humanoid being in the light has brought you back to life. You are instantly restored to life at full health. In addition, the lot of you gain a blessing of the Morning Lord.
Oh.
So, from now on, everybody gains 10 temporary hit points each day at dawn.
Hell
wow.
yeah, dude.
Nice. I'm gonna walk over to Stanley and be like,
Yeah. I'll just
You
like
real?
pop up from behind my wall of furniture and be like, what? Oh, I suppose it worked then.
yes. Yes, good job. Good job.
Thank you. I am glad you're back. That was horrible.
Never do that
Well-
again.
Well, let me tell you, the other side was not fun.
Yeah, well,
Like
I
Patrick
have
Swayze and Ghost.
many questions.
Tricky.
Now that they're back, I'm gonna grab Barrios and Thalion and be like friends and hug them both very tightly.
Covered in his own vomit.
Yeah, covered in his own vomit.
I'm gonna give him a cheeky slap and be like, "You didn't help. You got drunk, you sausage."
And I'm gonna be like, we should have a drink, lads. Let's go. I found these wine barrels.
I pick him up by the back of his collar.
And I'm just gonna point you like the wine barrels are that way. Let's go.
Yes, Barris.
I would like to prestidigitate him clean.
Okay, he's now no longer covered in his own vomit.
I'll just look at Thali and be like, he really doesn't handle grief well.
He's been through some trauma, our little cat friend.
Well,
the last
now he's got some more.
Me in the party has been dead. Literally in the last 2 days. I lost head for.
Then he was stuck with the random hell guy.
You do notice, Stanley, that the names that you had previously written disappear, like almost as if evaporated from your book.
Yeah, cool.
Well, cool. Let's fucking get out of here.
Yeah, let's. This place sucks.
Did old mate come back?
Macretus?
Yeah.
No.
Good.
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 Fucking bastard.
I guess we better go talk to Copper.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I think he would like to know that his friend killed himself. Accidentally.
What are you guys doing with the device?
I'm gonna
Freaking
take
tuned
it.
to it now.
Cool. You now have the Summer Star in your inventory. You notice you are no longer attuned to it, though.
Oh.
But you have it.
But you have it. You have the Summer Star. Sweet. So as you guys pack up and get ready to head off, anything you guys want to do before you guys head back to Tourmaline, which is one of the cities on the way to back to Bryn Shandar?
Accidentally knock over that bottle of spirits next to the fire as we leave,
Cool.
Bye.
so that no one can make another one of these.
Is the Summer Star a custom item?
Yes, it will be. If you just add the Summer Star as a custom item.
Sweet.
Yeah, you knock over that bottle, it begins to engulf in flame, all the prototype notes, everything, like I keep forgetting the word for it. What is it called when you write the thing?
Blueprint.
Write it down. Blueprint, thank you. All the blueprint notes, everything begins to catch fire and burn.
On the way out of this cabin, I'm just going to cast Bonfire over my shoulder.
Cool.
Good.
Adding more fire to the flames as it begins to blow up. After what feels like a few hours, yes, Tricking?
I was gonna say, seeing Thalion do that, I'm gonna cast Firebolt, but just like not in any specific direction. I'm just gonna cast it like a drunk would fire a gun, for example.
Okay.
So I'm just like, whoop.
Roll me a D100.
I don't have a D100.
Roll me two
I can do it for you.
D10s.
I got one.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, go. Roll it. Let's see what happens.
Watch the
Roll
camera
that clip.
shake. Oh, you did
46.
it silently. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did it on my mouse pad.
You kind of like swing your finger and see that firebolt like explode out into the sky, and you can't see where it landed.
Well, that's not going to come back to bite us.
I don't care. I'm drunk. You guys head eventually, after a few hours of travel, make it back to Tourmaline.
Let's go find Nob.
So Tourmaline is an in-between city.
Oh, that's right. We have to get back to
It is becoming like night time. like
to get back to
night time.
Did we have somewhere we were staying here?
Yeah, we stayed at the place on the right,
Yeah.
the east side.
Let's go there.
We had dinner at the Blue Clam, and then we stayed at the east side. So I'd say we just go to the east side, stay the night there, and then head back to
Yeah,
what's the place called?
Copper's place. Yeah, the one.
Which is the capital, basically the capital, which is called not East
Brinshanda.
Haven. Brinshanda, that's the one.
Cool. So you guys head back to the east side and find your little kind of underground cabin-esque kind of room, heading into that underground room and then finding your place. You guys can set up for the night. Anything you guys want to do for the night, or are we just going to do long rest?
I think long rest after that.
Long rest, yeah.
Tricking?
Have I sobered up by this point?
You would have sobered up a little bit. You're still feeling a little bit of the effects. You're no longer feeling disadvantaged though on any ability check.
Sweet. I'm just gonna literally fall into the bed. Be like, what a day.
Cool.
I'm gonna cast message and just scream in his head.
You scream anything particular, or is it just like, ah?
Yeah, just the most obnoxious noise I can muster.
Like Dumb and Dumber. You want to hear the worst sound in the world? Ma!
I'm just gonna viciously toss and turn while holding my hands over my ears.
Lol. Cool. And then yeah, you guys can mark off a long rest.
Thank fuck.
And don't forget to add your 10 temporary hit points.
Is there a thing that we can add?
I'll make a thing that should automatically do it.
You okay?
Hmm?
I was gonna say you can just add temp hit points.
Yeah, but I'll make a feat.
'Cause I'll forget.
That'll allow everybody to just add it automatically.
Please, so I don't have to remember. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. I'll do that after session. Yeah. So you guys spend the night. It's quite comfortable, knowing that your friends are still alive. Yeah. You guys pack up in the morning and head towards Bryn Shander. It takes about... How long did I say it took last time?
Only like a couple of hours, not that long.
Yeah, I think I said it took a couple of hours. I always forget. I will need a D8 for this one, though.
Wants to roll.
I'll roll it. Fuck yeah. That's an 8.
An 8? Cool. Your travel goes unhindered, and you guys eventually arrive back in Bryn Shander. Heading straight to the House of the Morning Lord?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys head straight to the House of the Morning Lord. After a few seconds, after a few minutes, both Copper and Mishan both make themselves known. Mishan kind of steps forward and is like, "So how did you go? Did you find Macretus?"
He's dead.
Tricking, give me the device.
I'm gonna reach into my pack and pull out the device and hand it to Thalion.
You see
Yes,
Copper
right.
kind of go, oh.
Don't worry. Fixed.
I fixed it.
Yes, it killed me.
It killed you, but you're
Yeah.
quite alive.
Yes.
You're welcome.
And he kind of just takes the device and you see him like mutter a few things. He goes, I could probably actually, and he just kind of like starts talking to himself about how to improve it, how to do things, how to change it up. Mishan then speaks and goes, I very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. And as promised, she hands you a small little amulet. Where is it?
Divine
A small gold pendant shaped like a rising sun, with a sliver of pale ruby in its center. It radiates a faint warmth, even in the dead Icewind Dale. Yeah. She hands it to you. You take it. Sweet. It almost like glows with that warmth. You now have a pendant of the dawn spark. Feel free to add that to your inventory.
Sounds fancy. What is it? Pendant of the Dawn
Spark.
Spark. Okay.
Yeah. For those playing at home, it's a small gold pendant, blah, 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 blah. It is said to be one of the last holy relics blessed in the 10 towns before the sun vanished. While attuned, you gain the following benefits. Warmth of the Dawn. You are immune to the effects of extreme cold. You get Sun's Mercy, which is once a day. As a bonus action, you can cause the pendant to flare with radiant light. One creature you see within 30 feet regains 2d6 hit points. And undead or fiends within 10 feet of that creature take radiant damage equal to your proficiency bonus. It also has Lightbringer's Touch. You can cast the light cantrip. When you do, the light is faintly golden and counts as sunlight for overcoming sunlight sensitivity or light-based weaknesses.
Nice.
It can only be attuned by a cleric, druid, or paladin, or anyone who has cast a divine spell.
Convenient.
Very convenient.
That sounds like it would be very handy for someone like myself.
Let's give it a Tricken.
Not a chance.
He's got warm boots already. He doesn't need them.
Not a chance. Pretty girl gave me a necklace.
Cool. Ishan then speaks and is like, I thank you again. Please take care of my pendant, and the House of the Morning Lord is always open to you.
I will take care of your pendant.
She kind of like nods and then goes back to tending some of the things in the temple. It is there that we will most likely call it for tonight. A little bit of a short one. Having successfully brought your friends back. Congratulations, Stanley.
Short session? Fuck me.
Congratulations. And now you all makes clear why I didn't ask you to roll character sheets.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I figured there was something going on, but
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for this Rime of the Frostmaiden session. Thank you to our two sponsors, Stabby Joe & Co. and W.GG. And we will see you next time for hopefully Astral, if not Rime again.
I hope Astral.
I hope Astral too. Bye-bye.
Bye.